Okay, Tommy Ady here with the right back, and I'm in Idaho, Boise, Idaho. We've got Richard Kirk from Stillwater Power Sports joining us, and he's the business manager there. I've known Richard for a while. He tell you a little bit of his background. He's been in the business since about 1988, 89, I think. Is that right, Richard?
Yes.
And started in the car business and headed over to the motorcycle industry a few years ago. And he's been a big help with creating the right back and sharing some of his processes. And we've been fortunate to learn some of his processes that we implement. So as we talked about, thanks everybody for showing up to this. As I mentioned in the email, we're going to share the top reasons why F&I school cash conversions don't work, which they're great when you go to school and you get back to the dealership and all of a sudden you find out they really don't work. They work great in school, and the reason what happens to you once you get back to your dealership and you find out that they won't work is in school everything's perfect. Typically, you've got a good trainer that trains you how to do these cash conversions, but once you do it, you never do it again. Your warranty provider comes in, sees your warranty sales are down in your dealership. Typically, they ask you why, and you say, I'm getting a lot of cash buyers lately. I know that's what we run into a lot, and the cash buyers just won't buy the warranty. So he asks, are you doing cash conversions like we taught you in school, like you learned? Oh, yeah, I sure am. Okay, great. Well, keep it up. Maybe things will get better for you. Well, the reason why they don't work, nobody can make them work. They only work in school. And most people, once your warranty provider or your lender asks you if you're doing them, we all lie and say, oh, yeah, we're doing them. They work. But the other reason why they won't work is customers don't want financial advice from someone in a dealership. They know about you. Everyone's been warned about you. You're going to try to rip them off. That's what they've heard on the news. They read in social media and the newspapers. Therefore, they do not want financial advice from somebody in a motorcycle dealership, no matter how sensible our approach might be. And then the third thing is your buyers already have their financing lined up somewhere else, and they've been coached oftentimes by the person, by the lender that set them up with that loan, that don't tell anybody that you've got a loan. Just tell them that you're paying cash. Now, we know that 20% of your buyers already have financing lined up somewhere else. We know that through research. And usually the lender that they're getting their money from has coached them not to say anything about their loan. So that's why cash conversions don't work. You can't convert somebody that already has their money lined up. So now we're going to talk to Richard and find out why, what he's doing to convert cash buyers to finance. Richard, you there?
I'm here.
Okay. Well, what do you do, Richard? Why do your cash conversions work? Why are they better?
Well, it starts with the process, and it starts with my salespeople. It's got to be a process that's simple to use, and it's simple for the customers to understand. Also, basically what I'm trying to tell you is that I don't want any pre-exposure to my products or to try to convert somebody from cash to finance. I just want them to sell the motorcycle. And when they do that and do the process the same every time, it works better for me when I get them back to finance. And another thing is, with the right back, I track everything that I do anyway, so I know what my conversions are, to where, 3 to 4 out of 10, that's a pretty good rate of conversions. But it started with the process of the right back. And Tommy, you can jump in anytime if you got something you want to add.
So your salespeople are doing the same thing every time, right?
Every time. We never differ on any customer. We go through the same processes on every customer, whether it's cash, finance, it doesn't matter.
So if some rich guy comes in, not that he's been in there, but Pickens, T-Boone Pickens, that's his name, right? Is that his name? Okay. if he comes in there, which he doesn't come in there, but you're in a big oil industry area, and I know you've got quite a few cash buyers that come in there, but the salespeople handle him the same way that they would anybody else then, right?
Yes. Yes, the process is the same on every customer.
And
now,
oh, go ahead, Richard.
Well, you know, what I was talking about the process is you got to make sure your sales department does everything the same way on every deal. You know, some of your cash buyers, you know, they think, you know, hey, I'm just going to zip right through. But the good news is, if you follow this process, is they're going to get to see payments. They're going to get to see a balance that they're going to pay in cash. It's all written right out for them to where there's nothing hidden. So it's a really simple, easy-to-use process.
Now, something that you did mention that I want to jump in and mention to these guys, too. You guys have sales training meetings at least once a week, right?
Yes, every Friday morning.
Do you go?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's important for me to be there to support my sales staff, you know, to give them advice, you know, on things that we've gone through the week. And, you know, we're not all perfect. We're going to make mistakes. So we work on the stuff that we're making mistakes on and try to improve and get better. And plus, we practice with the right back. I mean, it's nice to do that with the customer and without, just one-on-ones.
Now, in your store, you guys took it upon yourselves to make these. Can everybody see this big thing that I have back here? You took it upon yourselves in your store, you and Ryan, to have these great big 3-foot by 2-foot dry erase boards with your right back on them. And I know somebody, you don't have to have the right back. Of course, we want you to have it, but you can have a 4-square on there. You can have your worksheet on there from another dealership. And it doesn't matter what you're using, but you guys practice on that too, right?
Right. Yeah, and it's a simple process. I mean, when you can set it up there, every time they're in a meeting, they get to look at it. Every time that I work the right back process, I get better each customer that I go through. So it's just a matter of process, following the same process every day, and we keep getting better and keep learning stuff and things to say to the customer with the right back. So it's a real simple process. Basically, you know, starting with step one. You know, you've got a customer that's committed to buying, and whether he's paying cash or financing, it doesn't matter. When he comes into my office, I'll have my menu preloaded with the cash price and with payment options. The nice thing about this is mandatory disclosures, and what that does for the customer is that takes all the pressure off of you and your customer. He knows that he's going to have to look at these because it's mandatory by law that you disclose the products that you sell.
Now, when you're talking, I'm going to jump in there. When you're talking about you disclose the figures to the customer, one thing a lot of dealerships do is they like to hide all the numbers that they can from the customer, but because they're afraid the buyer is going to back out, or they're going to throw a fit about the numbers. And I know it's very important to you because I've got tons of videos of you with buyers, and I know what you do, and it's hilarious sometimes with some of these people. But you disclose everything to the buyers. You don't want anything hidden, because if you hide anything and that may have been hidden already, if you hide it, you lose your credibility, right?
Yes.
And so
lose your credibility, and the thing is, too, if you do this process of disclosing on every customer, they know what they're buying, they know what they're getting if they buy the warranty, if they get the gap. The good news is my chargebacks have gone down to basically nothing. The customers don't want to cancel their warranties. They don't want to cancel their gap because they know it's a product that they're going to use, and it wasn't hidden from them.
Yeah, customers will forgive a mistake, but they will not forgive or forget a deception. And so you make a point of not deceiving anybody. I'm going to show them what's being showed to the customers. This is this is your part, and this is the sales manager's part. But the sales manager inputs all this information here. This one's pre-filled, but it's pretty self-explanatory what it is. This is the accessory section that just pops up with what they're selling. And then down here, the sales manager inputs all this information, just your regular information. We've timed it. It takes about 84 seconds, I think, on average, to put this information in here. And then right here we've got the interest rate. The sales manager is putting that in there. And how are you guys figuring the rate, Richard?
Basically what we're using is the standard factory rate, which runs anywhere from 8.99 to 10.99. It just depends on what they're buying.
So you're just throwing in a rate there, and then you're creating every single time you're throwing in down payment options also, because we know that we want down payment options in there, because if we ask the customer, do you want to do it with zero down, if the salesperson asks that, they're going to say, yeah, zero down. So rather than give the customer an option of saying zero down, we throw in those down payments every single time, and then you hit calculate, and this is what shows up for the salesperson, everybody. This is what it looks like. And I'm not going to run through all this, but this is what a salesperson is showing to the customer. They've got down payment options there. Hopefully they pick one. We know quite a few of the customers, 34% will close on the first pencil. So they pick a down payment option. In this example, we're going to pretend that the customer chose 48 months with 500 down at $386 a month. They're trading something in. This is that accessory section. This is the trail package that Polaris came out with in March. It's over now, but we've got it in here. It's what it looks like. If they purchased this accessory section, they would also choose 48 months at $42.29. That's what it's going to add to their monthly payment. Now, to cover this real quickly for people that don't know, the reason why we show this separate payment down here, because if we show the customer that they're going to be paying, about $428 a month for all this stuff, they don't like that. If they see they're going to do $386 a month for the unit and then only add $42 a month for all this stuff, but it's in one finance package, they're more likely to do it. So this is what the customer's seeing. And then, Richard, remember, let's see, we're doing 48 months, 500 down. That's the rate that we figured their payment at. We're just going off. Oh, did anybody notice the rate didn't show on the right back that we did just now? It doesn't show. Customers typically don't ask about it. But now, Richard, I'm going to put it back over in your hands. When the customer is done with their deal here, all this info right here is blank, and this is all that you have to fill out every time, right?
Yes.
What are you going to put in there? You've already got it filled out here, but tell me your logic behind this and what you're doing.
Okay. Okay, we went with the 500 down cash payment, so what the customer agreed to. Next is I've got a standard rate of 2.54, and everybody goes, whoa, wait a minute. You figured the payment at 8.99. Yes, that's factory financing. I use banks and local credit unions. Their rates are actually 5 times lower than what your factory financing is.
That's the average rate up there, right, that your dealership is doing for customers. So you hadn't seen the guy's credit yet, hadn't asked him, how's your credit? You don't want to know how his credit is. So you're just putting in your state usury rate if you're a dealer that does that, or put in your average rate over the past 30 days. And throw it right in there. So that's what you're figuring that payment in. Then, to inform everybody that's watching, then you got the guy's credit app. You got him approved, and but he came in much lower, his approval. So that's why you put in that 254, right?
That's
okay.
Exactly right. Now, also, if you go up and you can add a point for another year, so I'm at 3.54 for 66 months. Now, my full protection, I always figure the max when I do this. The reason why I do this, you don't know if you don't ask. So I figured $3,000 for the warranty and $1,000 for the prepaid maintenance on the full protection. The limited protection, I figured $3,000 for the warranty and $500 for the prepaid maintenance. You say again, well, we're not making much on the prepaid maintenance, right? But we're still making it on the warranty. Your gap, by law, my state law, I can charge up to $800 max. A lot of finance guys are afraid to ask for the max. I'm not afraid. I figure $800 on every customer.
And all they can say is no, right?
Yeah, the worst thing somebody can tell you is no. So it's a simple deal. But when you present this to the customer, it's a process he's fixing to show now. He's going to hit calculate and then hit print.
And this is what you have now, right?
Yeah. This is the screen that pops up now. And
So
if you'll notice that
this area right here, this is, what is it, step 2? You go over these numbers with your customer right now, right?
yes, that's right. Basically what I'm doing, I'm going to go over everything that they agreed on the front side, the price of the rig, any options that they added to it. It gives a cash balance there, and it also gives what's the down payment. So obviously it's pretty simple to figure what they're going to be financing. I go over that with the customer. And if you'll notice at the top, the most important thing, you got mandatory disclosure up there. That's what takes all the heat off of you by just showing the customer this. He's going to sit and listen to you when you bring this deal. You basically go down, once you've shown him that, say, Mr. Customer, whether he's cash or he's financing, I got 3 mandatory payment options to show you. Do you mind if I go through these with you? Most of the time they're going to say yes, go ahead. So I do. I start off with the preferred payment. 2.54 for 48 months, fully protected with gap. Your payment would be $446.20. Next payment, the standard payment. Before I go to the next payment, I always tell what's in my full protection. Now, Mr. Customer, that includes 5 years worth of warranty, 0 deductible, all parts, all labor. The next thing I go to is the prepaid maintenance. We're going to basically, you'll get your machine service for 2 years. That includes oil changes, any type of service problems. You come in, we're going to take care of that. The gap protection, Mr. Customer, you understand what gap covers. Let's say if this vehicle is wrecked, totaled, or stolen, the gap will cover what the insurance company won't pay. They basically pay now wholesale versus retail. So if you finance $15,000 on this machine, the insurance company says, I'm going to give you 12, they're going to pay the $3,000 difference up to $50,000 plus your deductible up to $1,000. So it's real simple when you go through that with the customer. You go to the next line on the standard, the same thing, 2.54, 48 months limited protection with gap. Again, 3-year warranty, 1 year worth of prepaid maintenance. Then the budget package. This is the package that most of the customers will sign up for. 3.54, 66 months, fully protected, again with 5 years worth of warranty, 2 years worth of prepaid maintenance, and gap. Your payment would be $339.69. Basically, I take and sit the pin down at that point and say, Mr. Customer, your total cash due, if you're going to write me a check, would be $20,345.09. Now I let the customer speak first to me. And tell me if you want to jump in here, go ahead at any time.
Why, what's the biggest reason why, I know you get 2 or 3 out of 10 people that were cash buyers to convert to finance right now. Why do they convert?
They convert because most of those people have already checked with their bank, and their bank has given them a rate of 6 to 7%. Even though they're telling you they're paying cash, you still got to show them a payment and a rate. Also, you got to show them what your products would do with that payment. And obviously, if the guy goes, he's a cash buyer, he's obviously not thinking he's paying $20,345. And if he gives you an objection, says, well, I thought I was paying $15,045 with my $500 down. That's correct. This includes your warranty, your prepaid maintenance, and your gap.
So what you're doing, I'm going to go over it one more time, Richard. What you're doing, you're bringing the customer in your office. I know you always prep them you always tell them, hey, Mr. Customer, you don't go out on the showroom floor either. You just stay in your office the whole time. But Mr. Customer, I'm Richard. I'm the business manager. I'm going to handle all your paperwork. This is going to take about 15 or 20 minutes. Would you guys like something hot or cold to drink while we do this? Because I've heard you. I watch you do some training videos for us. And then, of course, if they want something to drink, Richard, something interesting with you, you've got a coffee maker in your office, right?
Yes, sir.
I wish I could show a picture of it right now, but you've got one of the most incredible business offices. It's always spotless, and you treat it like it's a banker's office. You've got your espresso maker that's in there. You've got some things for kids in case they show up, and so it's a pretty cool office. But people are always wondering when they get in the business manager's office, are the numbers going to change? Are they going to stay the same, or are they going to change? And it's because they've been in a car dealership and or another bike store, and everything changed. Because if somebody uses a Foursquare or a worksheet and they handwrite everything in green ink with a smiley face, they're one, and it says plus fees. What are my numbers really going to be? So you sit them down. I know you go through these numbers, and then you say, when you've got the cash buyer, I always hear you say, and you get down to the cash balance, and how are you going to take care of the balance? You already know what they're going to do. You know they're going to write a check. And how are you going to take care of the balance? And they say, I'm going to write a check. Okay, but before you write that check, you do have some consumer repayment options that I'm required to go over with you. Is it okay if I do that before you write that check? And then, just like you said just now, you show them their options. Now they're going to see interest rates for the first time, and you've got your absolute best rates in there, because there's a good chance that you can beat any rate that's out there. And now this is where they go, holy cow, I didn't know I could get something like that. And hopefully they choose a payment. Now, something else also here. Remember what the original payment was for this customer that's buying this? What was it? $386.
Yes.
$386. Now they can still put that same $500 down. You actually you penciled your best rate for them. It's $354. You went out 66 months. You know, sometimes you just go 6 months, sometimes a year, but you take it out further to drop their payment when they get into your office, and then they see that. I like to call it a fully loaded payment, but because it is, you've got all your products in there. $339, that's quite a difference in payment right there, and which is why most people choose that budget option. Everybody likes that budget option. So now, Richard, what about the people, the 75% of buyers that won't convert? You're still selling them warranties. You're even selling some of them prepaid maintenance. What are you doing? How are you doing that?
Well, basically, I mean, it's critical that it starts out front. I don't want my salespeople talking about warranties or talking about any of my products. When the customer gets in my office and he says that, hey, you know, I'm just paying cash or whatever, well, I've been able to disclose to him all the things that you just seen, but basically I pull out another sheet that I've got and I go over with him what a 2-year unlimited mile warranty would be, regular price, special price today for you, 3-year special price or regular price, and then special price for you, then the 4-year, again the same thing, and then if you look down there at the 5-year, most of your customers are going to pick the 5-year because of the difference in price is not that much. I don't want the special prices to be that far apart. I always want to sell the max warranty to every customer, whether he finances or pays cash. And you don't know. If you don't ask for the money, you're never going to get the money. So I always ask for the max. I can always come down, but you never can go back up because you always wonder, what if I asked him for $3,000? Would he have paid me? Don't know. He's gone. So,
and this is just like the daily special menu in a restaurant, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I make it fun.
You always take a look at it.
Yeah, and it's something to look at that they can look at. It's simple. They can understand it. You're not writing it down on a piece of paper. It's printed up. It looks neat and professional. That's so important to be the neat, professional person. That way they know everything when they come in your office, and they leave confidently knowing they got everything that they paid for.
What and you always have this ready to go. You don't show this to the people that are not cash buyers. You always use this as a last resort, right? With the cash buyer.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Couldn't get them to convert. They're cash. Got to show them some figures. They're not going to buy anything if you don't show them the figures. So you pull this out, and you've got your special prices on there.
That's correct.
Now you're just using a 3-step process with this. I know. How'd you learn the 3-step process?
How'd I learn the 3-step process?
Yeah.
With the right back.
Because we teach it, right?
That's right. Every day. I mean, and that's the thing is, I've got the videos where I go back and refresh myself, you know, from time to time too, because I forget. I'm going to make mistakes too, but the key to it is it's become so much more fun and exciting for me because I'm making so much more money. I mean, I'm maximizing every customer that comes into my office, and I love to maximize profit. It's the funnest thing I do. And,
So, Richard, I know Paul, you're the owner. he doesn't always like to share numbers, but let's take what's been your biggest month this year in gross profit? Did you hit six figures?
Yes, I did.
That's in gross, right?
That's gross profit and finance only. That was $102,000 in gross profit for the month of May, for the month of May.
Yeah, and you've been right up there with a bunch of others too, huh?
Yes, the month of June we were at 70,000. This month I'm tracking 80,000. Since I started this process, my months keep getting higher and higher and higher. There's no limit to what I can't put up. I mean, we limit ourselves when we think well, I can't put up 20. Well, used to I think, well, if I got 20, that was a lot. Then I got 30, then I got 40, then I got 100. Now I'm thinking 150. After 150, I want 200. And that's what I believe so strongly in this process for me. It's worked for me better than anything I've done in the last 26 plus years in this business. This has worked by far the best out of anything that I've done. And I got it on paper. I've got it logged. I can show anybody that wants to see the numbers that they're real and they're not hidden.
Yeah, and your warranty provider, I know it's Rob Hefner out there. For anybody that deals with him, he does, which warranties is it? What's your warranties? RPM 1? No, not RPM 1.
Interstate.
Interstate. They own RPM 1, though. Yeah, Interstate. Rob Hefner. Just in case somebody's curious, is Richard really this good? Does right back really work like that? And who else is out there that might share that? I mean, you guys carry Yamaha, Polaris, Can-Am, Victory, KTM, those brands for anybody that's curious. Richard does attend and help out at some of our F9 classes. Anybody that wants to attend any of those, we don't do your typical F9 school class where we just teach you the things that are uncomfortable and may not work. We teach you how to use the right back, and that's it. And it's pretty cheap. So, of course, I got to give a shout-out to the right back. It's $129 a month for a dealership. I think it's $299 to sign up, and that's it. If you decide it's not going to work for you, you decide that within 90 days, you get all your money back. Yeah, every dime. And so that's about it. Richard, I appreciate you being on here today, taking the time, and Paul for letting you do it. And anybody that wants to get set up with this, just go to the website, therightback.com, or give me a call. It's 208-405-9808. Watch for more of our videos. And I appreciate everybody showing up today. And Richard, thanks for the help.
Hey, thank you for inviting me, and people are more than welcome to give me a call if they got any questions also.
Stillwater Power Sports, Richard. Top F9 producer in the nation, I'm sure.
It's pretty exciting to get to that point. I know it's going to get better and better. And I appreciate Tommy. I appreciate the right back. Thank you, guys.
See you in a couple of weeks, Richard. Thanks.
That'll be great. See you, buddy.